Okay, so in 32, they ask us for the same thing, the average and the median. But then here, instead of giving us all the individual list of how the scores went, they gave us one of these frequency tables. So we got to stop and think about what our list actually look like. So when this says 8% of people got a 3, 12% of people got a 4, let's say we can imagine that this is 100 people, just because I know that this adds up to 100%, right? So that should be the total amount. So let's say this is 100 people. Here's the fun thing about percents. It wouldn't matter if it was 100 people or 200 people or 1,000 people. As long as we keep these percents correct, then any theoretical amount would work. But 100 just makes it work out nicely with the percents. So since this adds up to 100%, if we pretend for a second that this 100% represents 100 actual test takers, that means that 8 people got a 3, and 12 people got a 4, and 16 people got a 5 on the quiz, and 20 people got a 6 on the quiz, and 18 people got a 7. So picture if we did start writing that out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 people got a 3, and then 1, 2, so let's even go like this. So there were 8 people have a 3, and just so I don't have to write so much. And then 12 people got a 4. And 16 people got a 5. So notice, even if I did try to add up this list, it's a list of 100 things. So I don't know about you, but if we can avoid typing 100 things into the calculator, it would be nice. And I just dot, dot, dot to the end here. So then there'd be 12 people at the end who got 9s. For a total of 100 people. Okay, so what could be quicker? Well, if 8 people got a 3, so if I'm trying to find the average, I need to add up these 100 numbers. Well, since a lot of these numbers are the same, instead of doing 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 8 times, maybe it would be nice to just say, oh, well, if I add 3 8 times, that adds up to 24. It's 8 times 3, right? That's literally what multiplication is that I have 8 groups of 3. And so I can skip forward a little bit and instead say, okay, well, if 3 people got an 8, in fact, I might be able to do, if 3 people got an 8, if I'm trying to add up all the scores, there's me just adding up all the scores so that I can divide by how many there are and get an average. So I decided it'll be easier than doing 3 plus 3 plus 3 to just multiply. So if 8 people got a 3, that's a total of 24. If 12 people got a 4, 12 times 4 is 48. And if 5 people got a 16, that's 80. So just the idea behind why you can multiply these, because it's literally saying this is the number of people who got this score. So if you're going to add them up, it's a faster way to do it. And then if 20 people got a 6, that's 20 times 6, so 120. And then the last couple, so there were 18 people who scored a 7, and 14 people who scored an 8, and 12 people who scored a 9. So I got all these from multiplying. And so now it's faster to add these up than it would be to add up 100 numbers. So that's going back to thinking about what does a frequency table actually mean. It's telling you the number of people who got this score. And even relative frequency. If we make it out of 100, then we can call it 8 people. It's kind of nice sometimes to think about the concrete numbers instead. Okay, so then if we're trying to add these up, we have 24 plus 48 plus 80 plus 120. Whoops. Apparently the plus on my computer does not translate to the plus on this calculator. So 24, let's press the button, plus 48 plus 80 plus 120 plus 126 plus 112 plus 108. And so I get a total of 618. how many test takers were there? Well, for argument's sake, we said 100 because it works out nicely with percents. So if there was a total score of 618 divided by 100 test takers, means that the average, so part A, our average is 6.18 points on the 10-point math quiz. And we could kind of like eyeball and see if that seems like it makes sense. I mean, definitely most people got a 6, so to say that the average was a little bigger than this kind of makes sense. If you got an average of 3, you'd go, oh wait, it seems like way too many people did better than that for that to be the average. Okay, so then for the median, we need the middle number. So if I have 100 numbers, the middle number is what, halfway between 50 and 51? So just if I'm picturing different digits, because I put a lot of ... so we didn't have to write so much, right? But somewhere here, there's a 50th number, which would mean there's 50 below this. And then there's a 51st number, which means that there's 50 above it. So my median would be right in between those two. So to not have to write out this whole list, if we could find out where the 50th and the 51st numbers are, then we don't have to write out the whole list of 100 things. But we're still kind of using this idea of, okay, there's 8 of these, 12 of these, to picture how far along the list we have to go. Just to not make it look too messy, I'll get that out of the way. Okay, so let's say a 3. 8 people had a 3. So when I hit right here, I'm still only on the 8th number. And then when I go all the way through the 4s, I'm only on the 20th number. How do I know that? Well, because I did 8 here and 20 here, or 12 here for a total of 20. So it might be not a bad idea to think of your cumulative total as you go down. And so 8 plus 12, once you get all the way through this list, you'll be on the 20th number. So then there's another 16 people who got a 5. So when you get all the way through that list, you'll be on the 36th number. Then there's another 20 people who got a 6, and so when you get all the way through that list, you'll be on the 56th number. Okay, so we'll stop and think about that for a second. That means when you hit this 36th number is a 5, and then the 37th number is a 6, all the way up to 20 people got that same score, so all the way up to the 56th number is still a 6. What we cared about is what's halfway in between the 50th and 51st number. Well, if the whole list from 37 to 56 is 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, a whole bunch of 6s, then this number's got to be a 6, and this number's got to be a 6. So our median, halfway in between there, looks like it is 6 points. And I guess that's technically part B, where they ask for the median. So you can write out a big list of 100 numbers, but if you can kind of visualize the list and do a lot of ... for yourself, it's definitely a time saver.